This is Frank, Jacob, and Vitaly. These are the kinds of videos that they were making before, and now 30 days later, this is what they are creating. So how the heck did they learn to edit like that? Frank, Jacob, and Vitaly all joined Ultimate Editors and were put on a 30-day step-by-step plan that was guaranteed to teach them the fundamentals of editing, advanced editing concepts, and multiple high-end editing styles, which took them from complete beginners to absolute professional editors. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing this exact same 30-day step-by-step plan that is going to take you from a beginner to a professional in video editing. And I'm not here to share no basic guide. I'm going to teach you the plan that's going to make you an editor that is eligible to get paid $1,000 to $2,000 for editing. So without further ado, let's dive straight into this. I don't know if you've noticed, but there's a lot that we're going to have to learn in 30 days. So here's how we're going to break this down. We're going to be splitting the 30 days into 4 weeks, and we'll designate each week for a specific thing in editing. Week 1, we'll learn the fundamentals of editing. Week 2, we'll get into the advanced concepts. Week 3, we'll learn a short form editing style. And week 4, we're going to learn a long form editing style. This way, we're going to learn concepts for the first 2 weeks and then apply them for the second 2 weeks. And with this plan in mind, let's get started on week 1, the fundamentals. Learning the basics of editing is like building a foundation to a house. No matter how nice you want the house to look, you must have a strong foundation. So to build a strong foundation in editing, we're going to be spending 7 days mastering the basics of Premiere Pro. Now imagine you wanted to teach your kids how to swim. What's the best way you can do that? Yep. Toss them in deep waters and let them figure it out. That's why on day 1, we're going to be learning the Premiere Pro UI and basic editing tools. So boot up Premiere Pro and start clicking random things. Open up the workspaces, go to editing and start importing things, clicking things, moving things, and trying out everything. By doing this, you're going to get over the fear of a new software and start figuring out where some things are. Then you need to get into the editing tools. The Razor tool, Select tool, and Type tool are the most important ones. And we'll just dedicate day 1 to learning the Premiere Pro UI and the basic editing tools. On day 2, we're going to be learning sequences and sequence settings. Try importing some footage and learn about the sequence that you are editing in. Then learn all these sequence settings and what they do. The main ones you will constantly use are dimensions, frame rate, and codec, and that's it. Now at this point, you're going to be able to import some footage, cut it, and move it around the timeline. And on day 3, we're going to learn the different variables that we can change. So import a video and mess around with these variables over here to discover what they are and how they can be used. Make a few cuts and try placing your footage differently and see how it makes a difference. You should then be able to learn the position, rotation, scale, and opacity of a clip on your own. And on day 4, we're going to be focusing on text. Text is a big part of editing, so you'll first need to learn how to create text. Then mess around with the fonts and text settings and create a few text styles that you like. Make sure to save those as motion graphics templates because we're going to be needing those very soon. And at this point, you're getting familiar with Premiere Pro and the basics of editing, so on day 5, you're going to be learning about additional properties. These are all the things that you can do by right-clicking your footage. The main ones we're going to want to focus on are going to be linking and unlinking, nesting footage, audio levels, and changing speed. You'll want to mess around with these until you have a solid grasp on them. And now on to day 6, where we're going to be doing our first ever actionable step. It's important to learn new things, but it's also just as important to keep practicing the things that we learn. That's why you're going to download some trial footage that you can find down in the link below. And with your current knowledge in editing, don't try and go overboard with this. I want you to first cut out all the silences and the bad takes in this clip and then use the editing knowledge that you have just learned to try and create your first ever video. With this being said, it's probably not gonna look good, but that's fine. This is just to practice everything that we just learned. And on the 7th day, God finished all his work that he had done, and he rested on the 7th day from all his work that he had done. See, even God rested. So should you. Which is why day 7 is just a rest. This is to first of all prevent you from burning out and no longer caring about editing, but also to keep you interested in editing and wanting to learn more. So take the day off and have a nice rest. But now that we have used the first 7 days to build a solid foundation in Premiere Pro, it's time to invest the next 7 days in learning the advanced concepts that will help us edit high-end engaging videos. And that's why in week 2, we're going to be learning the advanced concepts of editing. We'll start off day 8 by learning pacing and J-cuts. Pacing is extremely important in editing, which is why it's pretty smart to learn how to pace short form videos, long form videos, and other types of edits. And to take your cutting game to the next level, you're gonna need to learn J-cuts. So invest some time into learning the J-cut and practice it until it looks smooth and seamless. And once you've improved your cutting game, it's time to move on to day 9. On On day 9, we're gonna be focusing on keyframes and velocity. This day is worth investing a lot of time in. You'll first want to learn the concept of keyframes so that you can start making animations inside of Premiere Pro. Then you'll start with basic animations like movements, zoom-ins, zoom-outs, and opacity animations. And once you've had a solid grasp on these animations and feel like you could take it to the next level, you'll want to click this arrow here and dive into the velocity of the animations in Premiere Pro. This is gonna take your animations to the next level, and just take a look at this difference. The objective here is to learn how to do two things: smooth movement animations and smooth zoom-ins. No more, no less. Now moving on to day 10, you'll probably feel a bit tired from the previous days, which is why on this day we're gonna take some time to learn how presets and plugins work inside of Premiere Pro. You should start by downloading Essential Motion 2.0, Motion Bro, and Premiere Composer, and these are all the presets and plugins you'll ever need in Premiere Pro. Take the rest of day 10 to practice using keyframes, velocity, and smooth animations inside of Premiere Pro. And once you're ready for day 11, we're gonna dive into sound design. Now this is a huge subject just like animation, so we're gonna take some time to learn sound design and how sound design works in Premiere Pro. To do this, we're gonna break it down to 3 stages: using whooshes for movement, using textured sound effects, and using risers. Spend some time learning each stage so that you can develop really good sound design and take your video to the next level. At this point, you've learned advanced animations, presets, plugins, and sound design. You're basically ready to learn how to edit engaging styles, but there's a few more things that we're gonna need to do before that. On day 12, we're gonna get into text styles and text animations. Using your improved knowledge in graphics and creating smooth animations, it's time to create 3 text styles that you're gonna be using. One with a glow to highlight special objects, one that is clean for subtitling your words, and one that is bolder to use for highlighting important words. And with this done, you're gonna want to take some time to create a few nice text animations for them. My advice is to create a pop-up animation and some kind of slide animation and some kind of rotation animation. And with this all done, you are ready for day 13. And on day 13, we're gonna have our second test. This is gonna be a big day for you. Using your knowledge of editing so far, you're gonna need to find a YouTube video that is completely unedited, or check out the link down below where you can download some free raw footage. Then you're gonna need to clip a 1-minute segment of a section that you find super interesting, and with this done, you're gonna be responsible for taking this 1-minute clip, cutting it up, pasting it with your J-cuts, animating some fancy animations for the intro, editing the rest of the video, and sound designing the whole thing. And if you've done everything right, then you'll end up with a very impressive video that is very well edited. And at the end of the video, we're gonna be using these videos to show you guys how you can get your first clients. Once again, on the 14th day, to avoid burning out, you're gonna need to take a break. Enjoy it, let your mind relax, and just get comfortable. Now I understand this is getting a bit confusing and it feels like there's just so much to do, which is why I've created Ultimate Editors. See, we've streamlined this process so much to make it as easy as possible for you to become a professional editor. Once you join Ultimate Editors, you can start with the Premiere Basics course. Not only are you going to be taught new concepts, but you're also going to be given actionable steps where you can practice these new concepts so that you don't forget what you learned. And then once you finish the Basics course, you can then move on to the Advanced course. Here, we've split everything into these sections, and we've structured it so that you learn a few new concepts at a time and then are given a chance to basically practice them and retain all the information that you're learning. And these courses are designed to equip you with all the information you'll ever need to learn whatever style you want to learn, whether it's the Ali Abdaal style, the Devin Jatho style, or the Alex Hormozi style, or the long form editing styles like the Isaac editing style or my own editing style. And in the case that you run into any problems or have any questions, you can always find us on the weekly Q&A calls where we answer your questions. And we recently even started teaching After Effects and Photoshop. Look, Ultimate Editors is the best way you can become a professional editor, and it's also the most affordable way out there. Just click the link down below, you're going to be taken to a website that will tell you everything about Ultimate Editors and what's inside. And with this all being said, let's dive into week 3, in which we're going to be learning an engaging short form editing style. Starting off with day 15, in which we're going to be doing some research, scripting, and recording. Start off by searching for a well-known short form editing style that you like. Now I want you to choose one of the creator's shorts and script out everything that he has said. And once you have that script, I want you to go ahead and record a replica of that short. So very simple. Find a short, script, and record. And on day 16, we're gonna go back to the editing side of things. We'll start off by making our cuts to the short and removing all the silences and bad takes and etc. Then we're gonna try and follow the creator's pacing. You don't wanna go too fast and you don't wanna go too slow. And the main focus of day 2 is gonna be to try to recreate the intro of the short that we liked. It's most likely gonna be made up of many animations and graphical elements and stuff, which is good because this is gonna allow us to start learning on the fly and animating new concepts as we go. Now make sure not to watch any tutorials on it yet. yet. I want you to just try this and see what you can come up with, and by the end of this you should have a somewhat well edited intro. Now on day 17 you're gonna want to recreate the rest of the video. Go through the video clip by clip, see what your creator did and what animations he used and what graphical elements the clip was made up of, and mimic the exact same thing for your own video. This will teach us how we can keep a video engaging and also a bunch of new editing techniques. And ultimately, this is how you learn as an editor. It's gonna take you some time, but you should end up with a nicely edited video. Now on day 18, you're gonna want to focus on the sound design side of things. Study the creator's sound design, like what sound effects he uses and how frequent they are. Then replicate the exact same thing. Start with the movement sound effects, then the textured sound effects, and then the risers and hits. And with this all out of the way, you're gonna have a fully edited and sound design video ready to use. Now keep in mind, you should have done all of this without watching any tutorials on how to actually make it. So this was just your own attempt at understanding it and trying to remake it, which allows you as an editor to practice the skill of remaking and replicating things and creativity on the fly. But now on day 19, it's time to study multiple tutorials on how to actually edit this short. So study and note down every single thing that they have done different, and find the major differences between the way that you edited the short and the way that a professional did it. And at that point, you should have a list of different things that you could change. And that's why on day 20, we finish it off by remaking the whole short. But this time, we're gonna use the correct technique. And this is the ultimate way to maximize learning. Try, fail, learn, and correct. I promise you, if you do this in any area of your life, you will be exponentially successful. And on day 21, you guys know the drill. Get some rest, exercise a little, go on a hike, see a waterfall, just do anything. But make sure you get yourself ready for week number 4. Now on week number 4, we're going to be finishing off our plan. We've already learned an engaging short form editing style, now it's on to learning a long form one. And on day 22, same as before. Research and study. Find out what your favorite long form editing style is and study the different aspects of it. But this time, instead of editing the whole thing, you're just gonna take a 1-minute segment that you really like. And you can either script and record a video that's exactly like it, or you can check out the link down below where I've got some unedited raw footage for you guys to download. But I want you to study the video that you took from your favorite creator and note down these things. How does he show his points? Is it animations, images, or videos? How intense is the video? Is it calm or constantly edited? And what's his structure like? Is he telling a story, sharing information, or showing a certain thing? And what is the viewer constantly focusing on? And on day 23, we're gonna start off with the pacing and the intro. Start by chopping up your footage and removing all your silences. Then match the creator's pacing, not too fast, not too slow. And once you've done that, get straight into editing the intro. This is gonna be a bit tricky, but you're gonna want to replicate the animations, style, and editing from the original intro. Once again, this is the ultimate way to learn editing. With your current editing knowledge, try and get as close as possible to the original style. And this is how you're gonna learn to create engaging intros. Now on day 24, you're gonna want to edit the rest of the 1-minute video in the style that you chose. Now as you're watching the video, you're probably gonna notice that the creator is trying to bring across a certain point to the viewer. Now your job as an editor is to bring that point across visually, and how you do that is through the editing style that you've chosen. And you most likely won't be able to finish this whole process in one day, which is why on day 25, you're also gonna be continuing this process. Focus on all the micro details, focus on the quality over quantity, and really emphasize making a masterpiece. Now after your long hard labor, you should end up with a video that is smooth and nicely edited, which is why on day 26 we're going to be recreating the sound design. Once again, find out what your creator uses for sound design and remake it. Start with the movement, then the textures, then the risers and hits. And lastly, on day 27, as usual, we're going to take some time to study what we've done wrong. So watch a lot of tutorials on the editing style that you've chosen and note down everything that they have done differently. Focus on their technique and the specific way that they do things. Then go in and change what you've done wrong and learn it, so that the next time that you do this, you're at least a tiny bit better. Stack up tiny wins over a long period of time, and before you know it, you're the best editor in the space. And to finish our 30-day plan, on day 28, we're going to be doing something very special. You see, on week 1, you learned the fundamentals of editing and created a basic video. I want you to take that basic video. And on week 2, you learned the advanced editing concepts and made another video. I want you to take that video as well. On week 3, we learned a short form editing style and you edited a video in that style. I want you to also take that video. And on week 4, you learned an engaging long form editing style and also edited a video with the long form style. I want you to take that video as well. So by now you should have 4 different videos. Here's what you're gonna do with them. First of all, make a social media account on Twitter, Instagram, and then we're gonna make 3 main posts. The first one is gonna be a before versus after, comparing your basic edit, which you did in week 1, and the advanced edit, which you did in week 2. The second one is gonna be the short form editing style that we did. This time you're gonna place the video that you edited with the timeline under it, and your third post is gonna be a before versus after of the long form edit that we did. Now, chances are if you've watched this far, you've done it all in one sitting and you haven't taken action yet, but you're about. So there are two main things that you could do right now. Number one, I've made a PDF of the 30-day plan where you can track everything that you're going to need to do every single day and all the goals you have for every week to become a professional editor within 30 days. If you want to download it, it's completely for free. Just go ahead and scroll down, click on the link down below. I'll need your email to send it over. And if you don't want to do all the research yourself and worry about the hassles, we've streamlined this entire process to make it super easy in Ultimate Editors. So instead of worrying about all the questions that you might have and not finding tutorials and not knowing how to do things, all you gotta do is tune in, watch a few courses a day, use the provided footage that we give you to practice them. And if you have any questions, ask us on the weekly Q&A calls. And think of it this way. It's a $47 investment that's going to make you a professional editor, and you know for sure by joining our community you're going to be able to remake the same amount that you invested within just editing maybe 2 or 3 shorts for a future client. All you got to do is head over to ultimateeditors.com and we're going to take it from there. Once again, thanks a lot for watching. If you found this video useful, give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more. And thank you for sticking all the way through. I'll see you guys in the next video, and God bless each and every single one of you guys. See ya.